Augustine of Hippo, a giant of Christian thought, began his life far from the Church's embrace. Born in North Africa in 354 AD, he was a man of intense passions and intellectual curiosity. His early life was marked by a restless search for truth and meaning, a journey that led him down many paths before finding solace in Christianity. Augustine's early years were a mix of youthful indiscretions and intellectual exploration. He was a bright student, excelling in rhetoric and philosophy. Yet, he was also prone to what he would later call the wildness of youth. This period of his life, filled with moral struggles and spiritual searching, would later form the backdrop for his powerful confessions. Despite his intellectual prowess, Augustine remained spiritually adrift. He dabbled in various philosophies, including Manichaeism, a popular dualistic religion of the time. However, none of these teachings could fully quench his thirst for truth or provide the inner peace he craved. Augustine's journey to faith was not a sudden conversion, but a gradual process of intellectual and spiritual awakening. His story reminds us that the path to faith is often winding and arduous, marked by doubts, questions, and the constant struggle between our desires and our yearning for something greater than ourselves. Augustine's early life was shaped by the contrasting influences of his parents. His mother, Monica, was a devout Christian who prayed fervently for her son's conversion. His father, Patricius, was a pagan who prioritized his son's worldly success. Growing up in a Roman province, Augustine received a classical education, mastering Latin rhetoric and delving into the works of philosophers like Cicero and Virgil. This strong foundation in the classics would later influence his writing style and his ability to engage with both Christian and pagan thought. While Augustine excelled in his studies, his personal life was marked by moral turmoil. He fathered a son out of wedlock and struggled to reconcile his intellectual pursuits with his spiritual yearnings. His early writings, like On the Beautiful and the Fitting, reflect his grappling with questions of beauty, desire, and the nature of good and evil. Despite his internal conflicts, Augustine's intellectual brilliance shone through. He became a renowned teacher of rhetoric, first in Carthage and later in Milan, the heart of the Roman Empire. It was in Milan that he would encounter the teachings of Bishop Ambrose, a pivotal moment that would forever alter the course of his life. Augustine's mastery of rhetoric, the art of persuasive speaking and writing, brought him both professional success and personal turmoil. He excelled in the rhetorical contests of his day, relishing the power of language to sway audiences and win arguments. However, Augustine's success in the secular world did little to ease his internal struggles. He felt increasingly dissatisfied with the emptiness of worldly ambition and the fleeting nature of fame. The pursuit of pleasure, while alluring, left him feeling empty and unfulfilled. Augustine's writings from this period, such as On Order, reveal his growing awareness of the limitations of human reason and the need for something more than worldly wisdom. He began to question the nature of truth and the purpose of life, seeking answers in philosophical texts and theological debates. Despite his intellectual exploration, Augustine remained bound by what he saw as the chains of his own sinful desires. He felt trapped in a cycle of temptation and transgression, unable to fully embrace the virtuous life he yearned for. It was during this time of deep inner conflict that he encountered the transformative power of Christianity. Section 4. Tears of Confession. The Conversion of Augustine. Augustine's conversion to Christianity was not a sudden epiphany, but a gradual process of intellectual and spiritual transformation. The teachings of Bishop Ambrose, a renowned orator and theologian, played a crucial role in his journey. Ambrose's allegorical interpretations of the scriptures opened up new layers of meaning in texts that Augustine had previously dismissed as simplistic. He found himself drawn to the intellectual rigor and spiritual depth of Christian thought. One pivotal moment occurred in a garden in Milan, where Augustine, in a state of emotional turmoil, heard a child's voice chanting, "Tole leg, take up and read, take up and read." Interpreting this as a divine command, he opened a copy of the Bible, and his eyes fell upon a passage from Romans that spoke directly to his soul. Augustine's conversion experience, vividly recounted in his autobiographical masterpiece, is a testament to the transformative power of grace. It reminds us that faith is not merely an intellectual assent to doctrine, but a profound change of heart. Section 5. City of God, Confessions of Man, Augustine's Enduring Works. Augustine's theological and philosophical insights are preserved in a vast body of writings, including sermons, letters, and treatises on a wide range of subjects. Two works stand out as his most influential and is a deeply personal and introspective account of Augustine's spiritual journey. It is considered one of the first true autobiographies in Western literature, exploring his struggles with sin, his search for truth, and his ultimate conversion to Christianity. Written in the aftermath of the sack of Rome by the Visigoths, offers a profound meditation on the relationship between earthly power and divine providence. It presents a vision of two cities, the earthly city, characterized by self-love and the pursuit of power, and the city of God, founded on love of God and the hope of eternal life. These two works, along with his numerous other writings, cemented Augustine's reputation as a towering figure in the history of Christian thought. His ideas would go on to shape theological debates, philosophical inquiries, and the development of Western civilization for centuries to come. Section 6. Grace, Free Will, and the Problem of Evil. Augustine's Theological Battles. Augustine's theological contributions were not without controversy. He engaged in fierce debates with various groups, most notably the Donatists and the Pelagians. These controversies forced him to refine his views on grace, free will, and the nature of the Church. The Donatist controversy centered on the question of whether the sacraments, such as baptism, were valid if performed by priests who had denied their faith under persecution. Augustine argued that the efficacy of the sacraments stemmed from God's grace, not the personal worthiness of the priest. The Pelagian controversy, on the other hand, revolved around the nature of free will and the role of grace in salvation. Pelagius, a British monk, emphasized the power of human effort in achieving salvation, while Augustine stressed the absolute necessity of God's grace. Augustine's arguments on grace, original sin, and predestination would have a profound impact on the development of Christian doctrine, particularly within the Western Church. His writings continue to be studied and debated by theologians today, testament to the enduring relevance of his ideas.